Hey guys, Dylan here. Now, today you're probably going to think that I'm cheating with this because yes, this is a quickie article, but I'm not just going to be reading a quickie article. This is a Sonic and Sandy after all. The quickie article is really just to give you context on who Joshua Moon or Null is, so when we get into the rest of it, people will already know the context behind the person. So that's why we are going to be starting with this. Null, and we start off with some quotes. I systematically dismantled all these people taking advantage of him. That is a quote from Null. And okay, it'll give you more information on him in a second. Here's another quote. Oh my goodness, you are so handsome and cute. That is a reply from Chris to Null, saying that Null is handsome. And then this is another quote. Even a look into Null's eyes reveal his demonic influence. So let's see how that change happened. How Chris went from thinking that he's cute to thinking he's a demon. Maybe Chris is just attracted to demons. Who knows? Joshua Moon, better known by his online alias Null, is the current owner of Kiwi Farms. During the spring of 2018, Null began acting as Chris's volunteer advisor, helping him by filtering his email messages to weed out the Ween's messages from legitimate business dealings, as well as offering advice such as warning Chris to not invade people's personal space at other conventions after Chris' behavior had gotten him kicked out of too many games, and I covered that a while ago. He had felt motivated to assist Chris after learning that the Idea guys had scammed him out of enough money to put him at risk of losing his home, and that was the first Sonic and Sandy I ever did. That was the Homeless Saga video. So if you want to really get a flashback to how terrible these streams really used to be, go watch that. Like everyone who has tried to help Chris, Null has since given up. And that is a picture of Null right there. He is obviously a demonic looking man. Ownership of Kiwi Farms. I started hosting the Quickie forums in 2013 before Bob died. Trolling Chris was particularly funny, but after Bob died, it has become less funny and more miserable every goddamn year. And that is true. That is honestly how I felt about Chris trolling. And with this whole goddess shit, it's gotten even more pathetic and just not funny. Previously existing as Chris-focused message board in various iterations, in February 2015, the Quickie forums was consolidated into the Kiwi Farms, and there's a whole stream Joshua did explaining that. I'd advise you go to the Kiwi Farms YouTube channel if you want to learn more about Josh. He reveals so much information about the website, about Chris, and about a bunch of other stuff, so look up the Kiwi Farms YouTube account. It's actually really good. Shifting focus away from just Chris. Null is the current owner of the site, though has often referred to Chris as a dead cow, which I kind of agree with. Until 2018, he rarely interacted directly with Chris. Fundraiser. In 2014, after Chris accidentally burned down his house, which yes, that did happen. I haven't covered that in anything, I don't think, but I will eventually. Null sympathized as he had suffered with a house fire in his youth. He organized a fundraiser on the forum that resulted in several $100s worth of supplies being sent as a care package for Chris to get on his feet again. How very nice of this demonic man to do that. With the remainder of the amount of money sent as a money order. That's really nice. This terrible, terrible demon man is sending Chris a ton of money. Mistakenly thinking that the money order was signed incorrectly and thus useless. Wait, what? Mistakenly thinking that the money order was signed incorrectly and thus referred as useless. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about there. Chris insulted Null by calling him a dodo brain on Facebook because he's an asshole. In 2017, Chris piled on tweeting, Null is a dull lol. I fucking hated reading that sentence. This is the Kiwi Farms package right here. This is the package that he sent to Chris from FedEx. This is, what is this? A letter. Okay, so it's a check, a letter to Chris, and a bunch of gift cards to help Chris out. That's nice of him. And involvement with guard dogs. The guard dogs are something that I need to talk about later. There's so much shit involving this. I really should have talked about the guard dogs, but oh well. This will give you some basic information on them. Null pushed to have the Idea guys investigated for their alleged extortion and blackmailing of Chris for a time. Null assisted Chris by screening his messages to separate Ween and troll emails from his... well, you already said that. You don't need to repeat yourself. Bad. Someone needs to update these quickie articles, because this one repeats itself, and that's not good. The other guard dogs had vouched for Null to Chris, who rationalized the inclusion of Null, whom would have considered a troll at any other point in time due to his ownership of Kiwi Farms. So the other guard dogs, the people who watch over Chris, said that Null was a good guy, so Chris would give him a chance and not instantly think he's a troll. By playing make-believe that Stan Smith, a character from American Dad, had vouched for Null as well. Because Chris is fucking crazy and is stupid enough to believe that. When Chris first started messaging me, he said that Stan Smith from American Dad said I somehow affiliated with the FBI or CIA, which I think was entirely his own headcanon. If you wonder why I'm such a big softie with Chris, there's a good example. So Chris apparently thought that a cartoon character told him about Null. And this is a drawing of a pony form for Null that Chris made. And it's on a little computer with a portal behind it. And Chris says, "You are cute." So Chris being really nice to Null. That's 2018. God, 2018 and he drew like that. So in 2018, he was still friendly to Null. This is like just last year. Chris' communications with Null got off to a rocky start. Null tried to avoid the subject of Chris's delusions as he did not want to further damage Chris's mental state, but Chris insisted on bringing up the matter. He is utterly convinced that fictional characters are real. I can't approach the topic with him at all. The first thing he asked me when we first started talking is if I believed in alternate dimensions, and I said no. He got very mad, started describing his adventures, and I had to walk it back by saying I can only speak on experience. Chris drew an art piece of Null. That's where the photo should be shown. This article needs to be redone. You guys really sucked at this one. As a My Little Pony character, to show appreciation for the guard dogs' efforts in May 2018, and followed Kiwi Farm's Twitter account a few days later. However, despite the efforts from Null and the other guard dogs, Chris managed to bumble his way into Embrace the Trolls as the Teen Troon Squad. In addition, Chris constantly tried to steer conversations towards his fantasies and a distraction from reality that the guard dogs would bring up. And that's actually what made Null not like Chris, is because Chris wouldn't shut the fuck up about these cartoon characters. As seen in guard dogs chats. We're gonna have to do a whole video on the guard dogs. Null was eventually alienated by this behavior and walked away from Chris. On the 25th of August 2009, Chris, during his phase of role-playing as Magichan, attempted to get back in contact with Null, though Chris got upset and rage quit when Null refused to entertain his delusions. And this is a quote from Null. Chris sent me some shit out of the blue and immediately got upset and shut up after I addressed him as Chris instead of Magichan. Every time I see this ludicrous faggot shit he's doing, like losing Terry Davis again, it makes me so fucking sad. And the reason why he brings up Terry Davis is Terry Davis was a guy who's also mentally ill. And he also had a bunch of fantasies, which made him go on an adventure to cross America. And eventually, because people kept fucking with him, like they do with Chris, he did kill himself by getting hit by a train. So he doesn't want to have to deal with that again. Chris turns against Null. In November 2019, Jacob Sockness intent on manipulating Chris. Okay, so I think we can avoid that part because I don't want to read that part. We're going to look at that in a second instead of just giving you the summary. That's why I decided to do a Sonic Insanity instead of just a quickie reading. So this is Jacob Sockness's tweet. I already did a video on Jacob Sockness. The only thing you need as an update, and besides saying watch that video, is that Jacob Sockness actually succeeded. He's now close to Chris, and he's only inches away from fucking him in the ass. Just letting you know that. So just know that he's not the same pathetic loser as before. He's now a new pathetic loser that actually is in good graces with Chris, and Chris listens to him. So he tells Chris absolute proof that Null is 100% evil and a danger and is probably the devil in human flesh. And then he links to a website. Anyone that shows support to this board will be blocked. And let's take a look at that link he sent. It's an article talking about how Null should be condemned for at least 2 murders and 4 suicides because people who are related to the kiwi farms or associated with it in some way either committed suicide or went on a murder spree or something. And that's fucking dumb. You cannot be blamed for the murders done by your product. Like, if someone killed people in the name of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki should not be held responsible. That's what he's trying to hold Josh to try to get Chris to not talk to Josh, because he's afraid that Joshua will ruin his chances with Chris. Chris, being the idiot he is, tweets out, "Attention everyone, I personally attest and confirm that these things against farms and Null. I am well aware that not everyone on the farms is evil, but I see genuine good amongst the remainder. Even a look into Null's eyes reveals his demonic influence," and he obviously is demonic. Null is a very evil, evil man, as we seen earlier with him giving Chris money and trying to help him. Even photographed. At this point in juncture, I feel it is time that I step up and finally begin the process of taking down the Kiwi farms for good. I want to know how he'll fucking do that. Everyone with the genuine good in your hearts, I implore that you leave the web forum for good. The time of its downfall in these set of events is upon us. I stand with good people in deity-level light power to take down the evils Null has been trying to influence upon everyone. The lives of those who taken by his influence shall not have been lost in vain. Null, troll us no more. That is the stupidest fucking sentence I've read all week. Thank you, Chris. And then people tell him that he's wrong about Null. Some of his close friends, because he actually does have friends, tell him that he's wrong. And he responds with, "Look, I understand how this affects y'all, the good peoples. I am not blind to that," which you are. Which is why I am encouraging all you guys to ditch the Kiwi farms and escape Null's deceptive grasp. Don't let yourselves continue to be linked to the slew of murderous links and... So this is, Chris actually thinks that Null's a murderer now because people have killed people in name of Kiwi farms and have committed suicide because they had farm articles. And then this stupid fucking idiot, this stupid fat, gross-looking abomination, Jacob. I really don't like Sockness. I really don't. This fucking blob, this gross, hideous malformation of a human fucking says, "The real war has yet begun. This week after the demons in human flesh, my true love, Christian, the war has yet begun in 1218 with these trolls. There will be a lot of channels getting axed and accounts being deleted." So, for anyone who didn't like the idea, guys, Jacob Sockness is that. Jacob Sockness is that. He's not trying to steal money from Chris, but he's feeding into Chris's delusions and introducing new delusions to further ruin Chris's life. The few good things that Chris had in 2018, Jacob Sockness is ruining and trying to make him be even bigger of a lolcow. So Jacob Sockness is a major fucking threat to Christian, and I really don't like him because he breaks like the one condition for people who are obsessed with Chris, and that is you don't interfere with Chris, which he does regularly. That curse is gonna be an almighty banhammer. All hail supreme goddess of creation, my true love. She's not a goddess of creation. You don't even know her shit. I only fires a few shots across the trolls, bows, and those were blanks. Now it's coming time for me to actually summon up Bilal, demon of worthlessness. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. A deadly disease strikes Troll City, and see who fucking cares. This is just stupid LARPing shit from their stupid fantasies, because these are two fat, middle-aged men who can't get out of their fucking house. They sit there all day creating these stupid little fantasy worlds that won't fucking matter. As fated, to save the rest of C-197, a world that doesn't fucking exist, from the spread of trolliosis. God damn it. Outside the area, National Quickville, who fucking cares? I said ops, who fucking cares? The only thing that matters here is that he says he wants the trolls like Joshua to be nuked. That's what he's getting at. And Chris said, I have read/reread and meditated on the event. I confirm that such a thing only happens to self-counterparts of all haters and really bad people, 1218. So remember when I did my video talking about the dimensional merge, and I said Chris wants all the people who don't like him to die, and that's why he's doing the merge, so all the bullies and cyber bullies can just die? Well, this confirms it. Before, he said you'd be replaced by your counterpart that he created, turning you into a Mary Sue like him. But now he's just flat out admitting you're gonna fucking die. It's not just Donald Trump anymore. He wants everyone to fucking die. As they were isolated in this one distant troll city, all neutral and good trolls remain unaffected as well. The few select bad people and haters, as they were fated to continue future judgment and retribution, such as the idea guy and Boyd paying back what they extorted. I do confirm that it's not a disease, but a fated event literally took out a Null's Equestria Pony OC and self-counterpart, even drawn by hand some time ago. This had happened beyond my control. So he's saying that Null's self-counterparts died. So when the merge happens, he will die. So among the bulk of haters, Null will not survive. That's how he's getting rid of people he doesn't like. He'll tell you your self-counterpart died. That's what he'll fucking tell you, as a loophole to make you not survive his shitty dimensional merge. And he doesn't capitalize Quickville right. So he's really losing it. He doesn't even capitalize his own made-up city right. Does not launch as nuke, but a military division was given an order by Trump's better half and self-counterpart. So Trump gets to survive, but Null doesn't. Was no mistimings, and a majority of haters and bullies and self-counterparts have bad-intentioned OCs have been lost in the process. So that's probably his excuse to say I won't survive the dimensional merge, because he's a fucking nutso. Make room for survivors of 1218 side. I also personally attest that all past and presently active Brony analysts, including the ones who identify as trolls in this, counts Ben Saint and whoever, will survive the merge, because he likes Ben Saint, and I want to do a video on Ben Saint eventually too. So that's all you need to know, is that he wants Null to fucking die. And so we went from Null being someone who's trying to help Chris and felt bad for Chris, to Null being someone who Chris hates because a fat fucking loser named Sockness decided to say that he's a demon, and Chris is stupid enough to fucking believe him. So hopefully this teaches you the lesson I've been trying to teach you guys with the covering of the White Knights. I didn't cover the White Knights to give them attention. I didn't cover the White Knights to give them sympathy. I covered the White Knights to show you, don't befriend Chris. Don't talk to Chris. Do not try to be on Chris's level. Do not feed into his delusions. Do not respond to him. Do not talk to him. Block him if you have to. Do not engage with Chris, because Chris will use you. He will attempt to abuse you. And then when you are useless to him, he will attack you. Chris is not a good person. Do I think Chris is a threat? Do I think Chris deserves to be hurt? No. But do I think Chris is a good person with good motives and wants to be friends? No. Do not talk to Chris. So hopefully you guys have learned something from this. If you like this, hit the like button. If you really like it, share it. If you want to see more, then subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.